Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Magical, and this is just another Storytime video of mine. So this is about how OCD that I am, pretty much. I mean, I do not actually have a diagnosis of me being having obsessive compulsive disorder, but basically, let's just say I have OCD tendencies because here's what happened to me today. I went to Kroger and like I said before in my last video, I have so much trouble doing normal, simple, ordinary, everyday things that most people do, that most people would be like, oh my gosh, this is so easy to do. You know, people don't even have to think about things that they do, but I think so much. I have so much anxiety about little things that just do not even matter. So I went to Kroger. I just wanted to get some cups and ice. I didn't even plan on getting ice, really, but I wanted to get some cups. And that's it. That's literally all this day started with. Me wanting to get some cups. Because I was out of paper cups. And I know I should probably use real cups instead of buying paper cups. Well, I don't know. I like using paper cups. All of our cups that we have at the house are kind of like falling apart anyway, and old and cups, and so yeah, it's complicated basically. There's other reasons why I don't really want to buy cups right now, but I just wanted to get some paper cups, you know, just temporarily to last me until I run out again of paper cups. And I try to reuse the same paper cup like every day as much as possible. You know, I use the same paper cup probably for about 2 weeks or so. Unless I'm putting some kind of food in it or something, I reuse it, you know, and I just wanted to drink water in it. So I'm going to be able to reuse that paper cup for like 2 weeks. But the point is, I went to Kroger. I just wanted to get some paper cups. When I got to Kroger, I went to the paper cups aisle. There was a man there who was standing like not right in front of the paper cups, but he was like kind of in front of the paper cups, and I did not want to touch him right before I got my paper cups because I'm a huge germaphobe, and I just did not want to touch this guy or brush past him or possibly accidentally touch him. And then I'm like so paranoid that even though I know I'm not touching anyone, if I'm too close to someone, now I will just kind of like freak out and be like, oh my gosh, what if I touch them, even though I know I didn't touch them. So that's kind of something that's happened to me recently. I can go to the store and I'm not worried about touching anyone, but for some reason today I was just extra triggered and extra anxious. Like, usually, you guys, I can go to the store and walk past people in the aisles, grab all my shit, and I don't think about touching anybody. I don't worry about that. But for some reason, the past few days, ever since I went to CVS, I don't know, I've just been triggered by that. I've just been triggered by the idea of touching someone, and it just freaks me out. So I had to wait for this guy to move. I went to another aisle, and then I kind of walked around, and I kept checking it, and then I went back, and he was still there, and I was like, oh my gosh, just go away. So I kept walking around, and then I came back, and he was still there. He was standing and looking at something for minutes, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's nothing over there that's actually something you would really need to ponder about getting on that side of that aisle. There's just Tupperware, plastic forks, and paper cups and paper plates, and like water there. Was he taking 5 minutes to decide on what water to get? I just wanted to get some paper cups. So then I go back and he's finally gone. But someone else is there. I think it was like some woman or something. So I waited for her. She left pretty quickly. I literally walked around. I remember standing in front of the pizza for like probably 2 minutes just waiting and looking in the glass and looking behind me because it was right in front of that aisle where the paper cups were, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's still there. And then I looked back and then she was gone, but then another guy was walking down there, and I was like, oh my gosh, just everyone get out of this aisle for 1 second. And then, finally that guy left. He was some old guy, I think he worked at Kroger. And then I finally went down the aisle. There was another guy who was there, but I was so sick of waiting to get my paper cups, and he was far away enough, so I just, kept my back to him, so I knew my hands were in front of me, and I wasn't, gonna touch him. So I just grabbed my cups, and then I looked at the cup. There was, a black dot on one of the cups. I put that package of paper cups back and grabbed another one that looked totally good. And for a second, I was kind of freaking out, oh my gosh, did I touch him? But I know there's no way I could have touched him because he was right behind. He was kind of behind me, but he wasn't, right behind me. I don't know why I was worried about this. I don't know why I worry about these things. I don't know why I'm so germophobic. I just can't help it. It's just how my brain is. Sometimes, usually, I can do things normally, like a normal person, but some weeks, some particular weeks or particular days, rather, I am just particularly triggered, and this was one of those days where I was just really triggered. And, for a second, I thought I had, touched him just because my back wasn't totally to him, and I kind of had angled my hand down a little bit to the side and grabbed the cups. But my back was still to him, and there's no way I touched that guy, yet I'm still paranoid, and I think, oh my gosh, somehow I touched him. And it's just no, of course there's no way I touched him, but I'm so paranoid that I will do things like that. I will, question things that, I know I got right, I know it happened like that. I know I didn't touch him, yet I will still be paranoid about things but am I sure I didn't touch him? It's just. And so that's what happened. Then, after I got my paper cups, I decided that I wanted to get some ice. So I went and grabbed some ice. Then when I was checking out the paper cups and the ice, I realized that the ice had a tear in it, but I had already bought it, and I guess I could have asked for a refund while I was there, but I just didn't feel like being in there. I wanted to get out of there after all the anxiety of dealing with just getting my paper cups. I just wanted to leave. I didn't care anymore. It was only $2. For a second, I tried to talk myself into using those ice cubes, even though they had a hole in them. There was a hole in the plastic, and I could literally put my finger through the hole and touch the ice. So I think I am the one who tore the bag, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if the bag was already torn before I got it or if I tore it. And also, I was just kind of pissed off that the plastic over that ice was so fragile that it would tear. They need to make thicker plastic because that was a pretty big thing of ice. It was this tall or something. It was a really big bag of ice. And it wasn't so big that I couldn't carry it easily to my car. It was carryable. It was pretty lightweight, but it was still a big bag of ice. And I was mad that the plastic was so fragile. And then, I tried to talk myself into, okay, just use the ice anyway. It's probably fine. I'm sure there's no germs in it. It's just, I was probably the one who tore it anyway. It was just in the glass door with all the other ice. I'm sure that, it doesn't have any germs in it or anything, but I just could not talk myself into using the ice anyway. It was just grossing me out. It was too much. I didn't really feel like staying in there to get a refund, even though it probably would have only taken 5 seconds. Plus the cashier had left. She was somewhere else, so I would have had to wait for her to come back before I could ask for a refund. I just didn't want to deal with that. I wanted to get out of there. The ice was $2. But it was only $2, and I was just I do not even care. I just decided, you know what, I'm not even going to use this ice. I thought for a second, maybe I'll give it to my mom, who's a germaphobe. I meant to say because my mom is not a germaphobe like me. But then I was no, but then if my mom uses that ice, then, what if she drinks from a cup that she used that ice in, and then, she goes to see my nieces, and then, my nieces often, especially my little baby niece, she often drinks after my mom, and, then, every time I kiss my little baby niece, I'll be touching the germs, and then also my baby niece will be exposed to the germs. And I was just like, I don't want to have those germs spread everywhere, even though there probably were like no germs in the ice. I mean, it's ice, so like I don't even think germs can really live in ice, right? I don't know. I mean, I think some germs can actually thrive in a cold environment, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, like I just couldn't deal with it, so I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to dump this ice out in my backyard. And that's literally what I did. I just dumped the whole giant bag of ice. This was like a huge bag of ice. I just dumped it in my backyard in the grass. And then I threw the bag away in my trash can. Then I went back inside. I left my cups in my car because I didn't want to touch my cups again after I had touched the ice. So I went back inside, washed my hands, then went back outside, and I was like, I touched my keys and the trash bin and the doorknob, but I was just like, you know what, whatever. I can only do so much to stop myself from freaking out about everything. I can't wash my keys and the doorknob and my car wheel and the trash bin. I can only wash my hands. I can't wash the whole world. So I just, I gave myself a pat on the back. At least I didn't try to wash the whole world. And so then I got my cups and I took my cup to the bathroom and I drank my water, and that is what happened to me today. I just wanted to get some water, and it turned into an entire huge deal, an entire huge freak out over nothing, you guys. I know that I freak out about nothing. I know this is so silly. I know I shouldn't even be worried about anything like that, but I worry anyway. My brain just doesn't work like your brain, or like most quote-unquote normal people's brains. I just freak out about germs when there's obviously no germs there. Like, I'll just freak out about that stuff sometimes. Usually, I'm kind of a pretty normal person for the most part, and I don't, do weird things like dumping ice in the backyard. I wonder if the neighbors think I'm absolutely insane. Because I am just dumping ice. I wasn't dumping it in the grass like that. I wasn't going like, I didn't do that. Then my neighbors would really think I'm insane. No, I was just, I just shook it out like that. That's how I did it. That's how I dumped the ice. I just shook the ice out like this. No big deal, no expression on my face. I was just like, whatever. Goodbye, $2. I don't care anymore. Whatever makes me feel relief, I tend to do. As long as I'm not hurting anyone, I just do whatever makes me feel relief from my anxiety. If it means having to do things a certain way, like washing my hands before getting the cups out of my car, then I will do that. I'll just pretty much do whatever it takes for me to find relief. I'm pretty good at following my intuition, which is kind of guiding me out of these mental health issues. I can tell, okay, I'm not ready to do this particular thing normally right now. If I try to push myself to be a normal person and eat this ice, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown today. I'm going to freak out. I just wanted to say that there is no such thing as normal. And there is no such thing as doing things normally, because there is no way to define what normal is. And if you have a mental illness or if you have any mental health things that you are dealing with, that does not mean that you are not normal. You know, if you have a mental illness, that does not mean that you are not normal. So I just wanted to make that very clear with what I said here in this video. So I know not to push myself too much. You know, I take baby steps with getting better mentally, and that's how I've pretty much mostly cured myself of all these issues. Except sometimes I do have days like this where I'm incredibly triggered and I just do a bunch of things like dumping ice in my backyard because I just can't stand the germs. Like, I'll do stuff like that every now and then. But like I said, usually I am a pretty normal person. Usually I can go to Kroger, I can, grab all my crap and not worry about who I'm touching. But lately I've just been kind of more triggered by germs than usual. It's kind of weird. I mean, sometimes I think I'm a normal person again, and then, I'll have something trigger me. So that's just that's what my day was like. And, yeah. So, please, watch my videos if you like them, and please leave me a comment. And if you want to subscribe, please subscribe. If you liked this video, like it. And thank you for watching if you actually watched this whole video. Bye.